Hey guys, Gojira the Diesel here, and I've been having a rotten day. Been looking up some pictures about some bombs going off and landing on Japan. Sucks. I feel so sorry for them. But you know, this isn't the first time that it happened to them. In fact, the first time that it happened was so powerful that a person named Hishiro Hana decided to make a movie about it and show the people the impact that the bombs have made on Japan. That's right, we are going to take a look at Gojira, or also known as Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, before we get into this, I have to be honest, I didn't really grow up with Godzilla. Now, hold on, let me explain. I was never really interested with the movies. I thought they were just your simple, cheesy superhero movies. But as soon as I found out the true story behind this, I was really interested and decided to watch the first ever movie. So, after watching it and not knowing much about Godzilla, or even being a fan of it, what do I think of it? Well, let's find out. This is Gojira. So the film begins with some fishermen on the boat, but then their boat begins to sink. Maybe because there was fireworks under the ocean? I don't know. So as the ship begins to sink, one of the workers gets a call and is told to go there right away. So they head to the police force as the people are anxious about what happened to the ship that was sunk. Meanwhile, they learn that at least 3 people have survived the shipwreck, so they help them and ask them who did it. One of them thinks Godzilla, but they brush it off saying, that's just a myth. But the old man tries to convince them and tells a story about him. Later, a big storm comes, and the storm is so powerful that it takes the house and the helicopter. It must be the work of an F5.
It's coming! It's coming like fire! It's already here!
So after the storm, the survivors go to the court, or somewhere, and they explain what they saw. But in order to prove that their theory is correct, they ask Professor Yuyami if what they're saying is true. So they head up to the mountains to further the investigation of the destruction on the town. And let me just say, that destruction is very deep. I mean, wow. So they find out that the island is affected with radioactive, and they wonder what could have caused it. But then they hear the alarm, and as they go on top of the mountain, they see Godzilla, who I have to admit is pretty badass here. I mean, just look at him. He's so cool, and the shot just makes him look more intimidating. And that roar, that's the most badass thing anyone could see. It's just unbelievable. So they head back to the court as they discuss on whether the people should know about Godzilla or not. I have to say, this is a really good scene, as both sides make sense. On the one hand, yeah, people should know about him, so they could prepare themselves if he comes again. But at the other hand, as they said, Godzilla is like an atom bomb. And if we know that some greedy people are here, they'll probably want him and his power. And keep in mind, this was made after we bombed Japan. So if Japan knew about Godzilla, aka the atom bomb, they might want to use him as revenge on us, and as a bomb as well. So if I was in that conversation, I would probably go with Mr. Huyama, because his opinion makes more sense and it's completely invalid. But the news about Godzilla is made public as the people are wondering how to stop this monster. So they set out ships to look for Godzilla and kill him by shooting bombs at him. Yeah, that's a way to kill a radioactive monster. Shoot something at him radioactive. That's like killing a fire-breathing dragon by throwing firewood at him. But Professor Kiyashi is not pleased because he believes that Godzilla should live to be studied. Now this I'm mixed about. Again, on the one hand, I understand because, yeah, we haven't seen anything like Godzilla before, and yeah, we should study him and see what his weakness is. But on the other hand, the thing is like 20 stories high. And granted, you know, we didn't see that much destruction of him, but still, if I saw a 20-story monster in the city, I would at least try to get the fuck out of there and stop him. So they have a party on the ship because they think they killed Godzilla from, you know, stuff made from radioactive, when, surprise, they haven't killed him at all. So they think about another plan to kill Godzilla, But Kurosawa still wants him alive so they can understand on why he's here. But there is another person that might know how to stop him. Himiko's childhood friend, Dr. Zirazawa. But he acts like he's got nothing when he decides to show it to his friend if she promised him not to tell anyone. After that, she comes back only to find that Godzilla has made his way into Tokyo. So what does the military do? Shoot at it. Because, yeah, it's easy to shoot at a 20-story monster. So we get our typical Godzilla scenes. He stomps, destroys stuff, he even kills many innocent people. And to be honest, like, if this was really the first and only movie of Godzilla, yeah, this would be really dark. But for those who have already heard of Godzilla, as never even seen this first movie, yeah, it's still kind of dark, but they might kind of brush it off as just, you know, another innocent, typical Godzilla cliche. Which is not bad. I mean, again, it does leave an impact, and you can understand, but it also kind of drags away from the movie for those who have never seen it before. So after he destroys almost all of Japan, the team makes a plan to get rid of Godzilla. How? By electrocuting him, and to evacuate all of Japan. So, their next plan of killing Godzilla, again, a radioactive monster, is to electrocute him with bolts, which are technically made of radiation. You know what? I don't even care anymore. I mean, if you want all of Japan to burn alive, then that's your problem. But Professor Yurami is still not keen on the idea of killing Godzilla, which leads to a really good dialogue between him and Okana. Okay, look, I know that Godzilla is new, and yeah, like I said, we should be studying him, but we should also study him more for his weaknesses, because there are innocent lives that are being destroyed here. And I don't care if you want to study him more, but he needs to be stopped before the whole world gets destroyed. So in many cases, I can understand both of their arguments. So Godzilla comes out of the oceans. They turn on the voltage and surprise, it doesn't work. What, are you going to throw some TNT in his mouth next? So he destroys more of Japan, but to no avail. I mean, really look at all the damages he's caused. It's really, really something. This is probably the most epic thing we're ever going to get out of all the Godzilla movies so far. Well, okay, maybe not the most epic, but still, it's one of them. We even see a news control reporting the scenes right in front of him. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it's not like he's going to come over there and kill you. Could you imagine if these guys were reporting the scenes from Pearl Harbor? As you can see, the bombs are coming so close to the ships. Oh look, one of them is going to drop in on us, right? So he goes back into the ocean as they look over the damage he's caused. So Professor Yuyami finally decides on the plan to get rid of Godzilla. But Miko knows the way. This of course involves breaking her promise. The thing that Dr. Zirazawa was showing her earlier was the oxygen destroyer, which can destroy anything underwater. So they go over to his house and try to convince him to use the weapon and kill Godzilla. But he doesn't want to because he thinks if the government finds out, they would force him to make more. And it's actually good thinking and pretty understandable, considering how some governments are kind of greedy when it comes to weapons and new technology. But he finally does cave in to use the oxygen destroyer, but only once. So they get on the ship and start going underwater to find Godzilla. So they find Godzilla and destroy him. But in order to make sure no one else uses the oxygen destroyer, Dr. Zirazawa kills himself along with Godzilla. So they have a cry for their friend and hero as the movie draws to an end. And that was Gojira, also known as Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So how was it?